I left you waiting in the silence of my absence, not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I didn't know how to face my own flaws. And now, the weight of guilt is heavier than the words I never spoke. Every moment since I walked away, I've carried the burden of knowing I left you in a void of unanswered questions. My heart aches with the realization that my silence caused your pain. I didn't realize the depth of the wound I inflicted by leaving things unresolved. Now the guilt is a constant reminder of what I owe you, a heartfelt apology and an explanation you deserve. In my fear of confronting my emotions, I left you hanging, and now the guilt echoes louder than the words I was too afraid to say. The regret of leaving you in the dark has consumed me. I wish I had been braver, clearer, and more present in that moment when you needed me most. I thought avoiding the conversation would ease my discomfort, but now I see it only multiplied yours. I'm sorry for the silence that spoke louder than my words ever could. Sometimes we make mistakes so heavy they haunt us. Leaving you without closure is mine, and it's a guilt I carry every day. I know I left you stranded in a moment that required clarity, and for that, I am endlessly sorry. I just hope my regret can reach you, even if my words failed before. When I left you hanging, I didn't just leave you, I left a part of myself too. That part has been calling out to make things right ever since. I walked away from the conversation when I should have stayed. Now, all I have is guilt and the hope that someday I can make amends. I thought silence was easier, but now I see it was cruel. The guilt of my absence in that crucial moment will stay with me until I find a way to apologize. You deserved clarity, not confusion. You deserved presence, not absence. I realize this now, and I regret not realizing it sooner. It's not easy to admit when we fail someone we care about, but I failed you. I left you with questions and doubts, and for that, I'm deeply sorry. I thought time would heal the gap I left, but instead, it only deepened my guilt. I owe you more than just an apology. I owe you the truth. The silence between us was never meant to grow so loud. I know I created it, and I regret it with every fiber of my being. I wish I could turn back time to the moment I walked away, to stay and say the words you needed to hear. But now, all I have is guilt for the words left unspoken. I thought disappearing would solve my inner turmoil, but it only caused you pain. I'm sorry for the distance I created when I should have offered my presence. I walked away when I should have stayed, and for that I carry a guilt that words can barely contain. In leaving you hanging, I lost more than your trust. I lost a piece of myself. The guilt is a daily reminder of the apology I still owe you. Every moment since I left you in uncertainty has been a reminder of how deeply I failed you. I'm sorry for the pain I caused by my silence. I didn't mean to leave you in the dark. I was just too scared to face the light. Now, I live with the shadows of my guilt. I know my silence spoke volumes, and none of it was kind. I regret the pain it caused and wish I could go back to rewrite that moment. I thought walking away would make things easier, but all it did was make my guilt unbearable. I'm sorry for the hurt I caused by not staying. I left you hanging because I was too weak to face my own truth. Now, I see that my weakness became your pain, and for that, I'm sorry. I can't undo the past, but I can't escape the guilt of leaving you without answers. I only do hope you can one day forgive me. The guilt of leaving you in that moment has been my constant companion. I'm sorry for every unanswered question and every unspoken word. I know I left you when you needed me most, and the guilt of that decision is something I carry with me every single day. My silence wasn't meant to hurt you, but I see now that it did. I'm sorry for the pain I caused by walking away when I should have stayed. I left you hanging because I was lost in my own fears, but that's no excuse. I'm sorry for the confusion and hurt my absence caused. It wasn't fair to leave you without closure. The guilt of that unfairness stays with me, and I hope someday to make things right. I didn't mean to leave you wondering, but I see now that my actions spoke louder than any excuse. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. In trying to avoid my own discomfort, I created yours. For that, I am truly sorry. I know I left you in a moment that mattered. The guilt of my absence weighs heavily on me, and I can only hope to make amends. The regret of leaving you without an answer is a wound I carry daily. I'm sorry for the pain I caused.